Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Grit and Grace, featuring ambitious and inspirational small businesses in Indian River County, exploring their pursuit of success and how we can continue to help them thrive. And now your host, Sarah DePardo.
Hey guys, welcome back to Grit and Grace. This show is all about small businesses in Indian River County that are thriving. They're showing passion and commitment to our community, and we want to highlight all of their success, their story, and we want to know how to help continue them to thrive. So I am your host, Sarah DePardo, and I am here today with Christina Morales from Piece of the Puzzle Behavior Analysis, Bumblebee Academy, PACE Teen Mentoring Group, and a new parent company called IQR, Inclusion, Quality, and Respect. I'm so excited to have you here today, Christina, and I can't wait for everyone to learn about all of the amazing things that you guys do. So first of all, when did you get interested in, or why into doing what you're doing? I mean, you created all these things from like nothing. That's amazing. So just tell me where it all began.
Yeah. So it was about 10 years ago. My son, Vinny, was diagnosed with autism when he was 5 years old. He was basically nonverbal until he was 6, and he started to be able to functionally communicate, like a little bit functionally communicate around 6 years old. And he had started ABA therapy, which is applied behavior analysis, around 5.5. And that's when his language really started to take off. And at that time, I was like, wow, I love this. This is so cool seeing how it all works. And it's just human behavior. It really is a science. And I just decided to change paths. I was going to school to be a social worker, and I decided to get my master's in applied behavior analysis. And then I worked for another company for a couple of years and just was like, you know what, I'm going to start up my own company. And so here we are. I started Piece of the Puzzle Behavior Analysis in 2017. So we're a little over 6 years with that. And then Bumblebee Academy was started just a year ago. We're actually at our 1 year anniversary. Yeah.
How exciting.
I know. So exciting. And PACE is a teen mentoring group that I'm just in the process of building right now. And we hope to get that started in the fall.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what did you do, before with your bachelor's and everything? What were you said social work. So were you working before? What were you doing before all this?
So actually I was a bartender.
Nice.
I was a bartender for 10 years. I did that like through school. I worked in my undergrad. I ended up working a little bit in the field as like a field work opportunity in the mental health aspect of things. But then I became a behavior technician, which is now a registered behavior technician. But before it was like a behavior assistant position. And I started working in the field of ABA while I was getting my master's, just to fully immerse myself in it all.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And, being a bartender, I feel like that probably helped you set this nice foundation of like how to communicate with people, listen and ask questions.
For sure. Yeah.
Remember things about those regulars and stuff. That's cool.
Absolutely. I know that they don't tie together at all, but it was a great time to be doing that. I worked limited hours, and it allowed me to focus on my son at that time. Needed me a lot. So it was, it was good.
I bet you could never guess what my first job was before like college and anything.
What was it?
Never guess.
What?
I worked at a bookstore.
Oh, really? That's so funny.
I worked at a bookstore for like 3 years.
Too, personal trainer, music teacher, no personal trainer.
I know, right? I'm all over the place. Hot Mess Express. So you opened the puzzle behavior analysis. And so how does that work? So if I have a child that's autistic or we just found out they're on the spectrum or something, like, what do I do? How do I contact you? Like,
really great question. So Piece of the Puzzle, we run our services through health insurance. So kids do need to have a diagnosis. It doesn't necessarily have to be autism. The state Medicaid covers many diagnoses, whereas like commercial insurances like Florida Blue, Cigna, they require an autism diagnosis.
Gotcha.
Most families, sometimes pediatricians will give a diagnosis, but it's not enough documentation. So we refer them typically to a neurologist. There is pediatric psychologists that will do up the full paperwork, but there is a lot of hoops to jump through, but it's not me.
Yeah.
It's the health insurance world. So, but
Unfortunately.
we really help parents every step of the way. We have them sign a release, and Kathleen Ganation does all the intake, and, you know, we'll talk to the parents. She will contact doctors for them, because I know firsthand as an autism mom how overwhelming it is. You know, you're trying to deal with a lot of times these kids aren't communicating, and there's a lot of like tantruming and things like that, and parents are just overwhelmed. So we just do whatever we can to help them get the services going.
And there's all kinds of, am I right that there's all kinds of like scholarships and different grants and things to help with going to, you know, a specific school?
Yes.
Like, there's all kinds of opportunities out there. And I'm sure you guys help connect parents with those.
Absolutely. Yeah. And once we talk about Bumblebee Academy, that is something where we really help families and give them like the step-by-step of what they need to be able to access that scholarship and whatnot. So there is a lot of funding. You know, there's also disability. A lot of families are kind of falling in this in between where they don't qualify for state Medicaid, but they can't get that autism diagnosis because their child has ADHD. They're not autistic. Right. So, you know, those kids need support too.
Yeah.
But once we get that approval from the insurance, we then, when we start services up, we basically do an intake with the parent that's like very much like question based, and we do some observations of the child, and it's a behavior analyst doing all of this, and then they write up an initial assessment that we submit to insurance to get approved for hours. ABA does get a lot of hours approved. I mean, we work with some kids up to 30 hours a week. So it's really a great service because they get all that support.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like locations.
Yeah. So we started off in Indian River County, and then I expanded over to St. Lucie County. Right now we have a center where we see the kids at in Indian River County and St. Lucie County. But we also see kids in homes. We go out in the community. I mean, we'll go to the playground with families. If families are having difficulty in a restaurant, we'll go out to dinner and work on skills. We're very real life based in what we do, because I know, again, as an autism mom, that's what matters, you know, not just what they can do in an isolated situation at a clinic or something. So we're very natural environment. We've recently expanded over to Pinellas County and Hillsborough County. And right now we're expanding up to Volusia County as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
that's
awesome.
So amazing.
I know.
And I think that's so beautiful that you guys go out actually and physically like help in the teachable moments, because like as a parent, if I'm already overwhelmed and you're giving me all this information in a doctor's office, I'm probably not going to remember it in the moment when I'm uncomfortable and I'm, you know, exhausted and like can't remember all the things that I could try.
Absolutely.
I think it's so awesome that you guys do that, because I mean, as parents, like, you know, that teachable moment, as soon as it passes, like
yeah. And honestly, when Vinny, my son Vinny was he was, you know, 6, 7 years old, I would isolate a lot because I was so overwhelmed to go out into the community, you know, because I didn't know what to do. And so giving that support, the parents then gain that confidence because they go out and they learn how to do things, how to respond appropriately, how to get ahead of things and prep them for transitions. And then they get that confidence and they're more likely to get out more, which in turn is great for that kiddo because they need to get out, like, you know, so.
And learning the triggers and like how to help. Yes, I think that's so amazing. So you guys have a website?
Yes.
Right? And what's the website?
So it's POTPBA.com. So it's just stands for Piece of the Puzzle Behavior Analysis.com.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And on there is how people can contact you guys.
Yep. They can go right to the new client, the drop down, they click on new client. There's a form they can fill out. They can upload all their documentation. And if they don't have the documentation, I always tell families, I'm like, fill out that form because we have a very long wait list, especially in Indian River County. So it's like, get your name on that list and then go ahead. A lot of times families will wait until they have all the documentation, and that alone sometimes can take 6 months. I know this sounds like a little like, wow, this seems very challenging to get these services, but it's what it is. It's not that it's just us. It's just how the field is, unfortunately, with health insurance. So, yeah.
It takes as long as humanly possible.
Yep. Lots of red tape.
Oh, yes. Gosh, I have a doctor's visit from over a year ago. I just now got a bill for because they sent it to the insurance company wrong. nothing to do with me. I just went for a yearly checkup.
Yeah.
And I'm getting this bill and I'm like, I'm not paying this
Yes,
because
it's
because
crazy.
you filed it wrong. Like,
Yeah, I know.
it's so crazy
It
how,
really
how
is.
behind everything is in that sense with the insurances.
Yeah.
So, what about like the philosophies or your philosophy, you know, like with the inclusion, quality, and respect and everything?
Yeah, so that's our 3 core values, and that's where the parent group, that once I created a third company, I was like, all right, we got to tie these together
Yeah.
somehow. And I'm like,
I
well, what
love
are we
it.
going to call a parent group? And in all the values throughout all of my companies is inclusion, quality, and respect. And we
Love
don't
that.
only apply that to the families that we're servicing and the children that we're working with, it's for our team as well.
Yeah.
So we have great company culture. For me, things have to start from taking care of your team when you're working. I mean, really in any field, but we're working with a vulnerable population of kids. It can be challenging. And, you know, there's a lot of companies where they're not taking care of their staff. They're not
Right.
thinking about self-care. And that is like the top priority for me with my team.
Right.
So we really focus a lot on leadership within my companies and just doing things the right way. We apply, so with applied behavior analysis, we use positive reinforcement to, you know, get these desired behaviors that we want, the skills we're teaching and stuff. So we just apply those same exact principles to our leadership. So we're
Very cool.
always just keeping the team motivated, reinforced, and all of that. So
It's a culture, because if your staff
Totally.
isn't happy, obviously they're not going to be able to follow through with their job
Yes.
as best as they could serve the children, because if they're miserable in their workplace because of the, you know, the environment that they're in and the
Yeah.
culture and the community within each other, as a past teacher, you know, it's a huge difference.
it
So,
really
and especially
is.
from the many times I've talked with you, you know, you're easy to talk to, and I feel like as a leader yourself, like people can approach you with the hard things
Yes.
and the hard to, you know, say the stuff that's bothering them or they're, you know, a little upset about, or something, that an idea or something. Like, you're not going to take offense to it. You're open, and you're you know, encouraging them to just voice
Yes,
themselves.
absolutely.
You know, use their voice.
Yeah, I mean, part of our culture is make mistakes. Who doesn't make mistakes in life?
Right.
We all do. And the only way you can truly learn is through making mistakes. I mean,
Right.
I have made so many mistakes starting a business. So, you know, I say it all the time, like I've fallen on my face so many times, but I learned from it. And
Right.
that's how I've become the business owner and leader that I am today, because of mistakes. So I tell that to my team all the time. And, you know, it's
Beautiful.
just, we do really have a great culture.
I love it. So we're going to hit a commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about some other businesses with Christina, about Bumblebee Academy, and, you know, just a little announcement. So see you guys in a few.
Advertising is essential. You've got to make people aware that you're there. We can do that with a cohesive marketing campaign from Evergreen Media. Based on your business goals, we'll create a mix of digital advertising on social media sites like Facebook, video advertising on streaming sites like Hulu and Paramount Plus, and supplement them with local TV and radio ads. Build awareness, educate, and inform the public with a cohesive marketing campaign by Evergreen Media. Check out egreenmedia.com or search online for Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
For those tired of staring at laundry as it piles up, the answer is usually putting it off as long as possible. For most, there's not just another minute to squeeze into a day to get the laundry done. Sunshine Laundries can help. This is Tom Rhodes, owner of Sunshine Laundries, with a reminder that 5 of our locations offer drop-off service. We'll wash, dry, and fold. For locations and hours, we're at sunshinelaundries.com, and with laundromats all along the Treasure Coast.
Hi, this is Anna Valencia Tillery, host of Treasure Coast Insider. Listen to my show to learn where to go, what to try, and how to give back throughout the Treasure Coast. Tune in to Treasure Coast Insider, Saturdays at 4, on your weekend home for Planet Vero Radio, Real Radio 1017.
ITEX, or International Trade Exchange, is the largest barter company in the world with over 25,000 members offering goods and services. We're a marketing company that brings you new business in the way of trade, with over 200 local members enjoying the benefits of ITEX, like lawyers, doctors, plumbers, media, printing, and more.
Hi, this is Liz Bowler. Contact me and find out why barter through ITEX has been smarter for over 30 years. 772-532-1881. Visit itex.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Grit and Grace. I'm Sarah DeParter, your host, and I'm here today with Christina Morales. And Christina, we've been talking about the puzzle behavior analysis, but I wanted to, bring us back to, you have some kind of an announcement, something exciting.
Yes. So excited. I'm so excited about it. So Bumblebee Academy has been open for a year as a preschool. That was never my intention behind getting that building, but I ran into all these zoning issues, and I love early intervention kiddos. We work with a ton of them at Piece of the Puzzle. So we ran as a preschool, and we'll continue to have our preschool program. But in addition, we have what's called the Foundations program. We had to go through a lot more hoops and red tape, to get this zoning approved, but it just got approved last week, actually. So we're now enrolling for this Foundations program. And what it is elementary skilled kids. It's basically elementary age 2, but it may go a little bit, and we may have some middle school age kids, like early middle school. And the way the program works is that kids are grouped by academic level, not grade level. So there's no kindergarten, first, second grade. The way the teacher's going to be able to target any gaps that they have, and the population of kids that we're really going to serve, because of Piece of the Puzzle, a lot of people think this is like an autism school, and I'm telling the community, it's not, we are accepting kids with autism, but they also have to have a certain amount of skills, because it's not a special needs classroom. It's almost like that in between. It's like kids, and this happened with Vinny. He was moved from a special needs classroom into a gen ed classroom, and he just fell behind because it was too many kids moving at a super fast pace. So it's kind of that in between. They can function in a gen ed classroom, but they need a little more support, like learning in a smaller group environment without so much overstimulation and stuff like that. So I actually trained out at a school in Seattle, Washington last summer with my executive clinical director of Piece of the Puzzle, Shauna Lampton. We went out there for 2 weeks, and we learned in the classroom, like they were teaching us, and then we applied that in their classroom and got to teach the kids, and we got real-time feedback and everything. And so we actually have a contract with that school, and they'll be sending coaches out to coach our teachers in the teaching method as well, just to ensure quality, again, is one of my core values, and I want to make sure we're doing this right. So I'm super excited to get it started. Spots are filling up. They are limited because we still do have the preschool. We're just really excited to get it started. Yeah.
And I love how much you dedicate to, like you said, the quality of everything. You really have a fine detail eye for everything, and I love it. I think it's a rare quality.
Thank you. Yeah, it means so much to me.
So what is something you wish you would have known before starting?
Oh, goodness. So many things.
It's a loaded question.
It is. But I will say, honestly, the biggest thing, because we were talking about earlier about company culture, I would say I wish that I knew more about leadership before I started. So I probably wouldn't have made as many mistakes. I look back when I first started, and I kind of cringe at what kind of leader I was. Not that I was ever terrible and mean, but I'm not how I am now, and applying the science that we use to the team and stuff. So I do have leadership coaches. That's something that I invested in a little over a year ago. And that is, I whenever I am speaking, amongst my field, that's my biggest advice to people. And I really think in any field, learn how to be a good leader, and the rest will follow, because you'll build a really solid team of people, and then you'll have a team to work with, because there's always going to be problems.
People.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So you have all of these businesses, and you're constantly learning, growing, and you also have a family.
Yeah.
So what are some things over the years that you found are very helpful to keep a a good balance between everything?
Yeah. So, when I first started, I feel like I didn't have balance. I would stay up all night working and because it was one of those things, I had a to-do list. I had to get through it. And it's like, no, it's okay. Like prioritize and let things go, so I really have learned that it's a lot of like almost like mental exercises of telling myself, hey, it's okay. But really, I have extremely strict morning routine. I tell my team this all the time, and I'm telling you, it keeps me sane. So I wake up at 5 a.m. I get my cup of coffee, I meditate, and I do like affirmations, I do journaling, and then I get my workout in. And then my day starts. So it's like I have plenty of time. I take my time with it. Sometimes my workout doesn't even start till after 6 because I want to take a little more time to meditate and do all of that. So self-care is so crucial, and it's crucial for any field, especially if you are a business owner. There's so much that weighs on you. So self-care is super important to me.
And like you said, that to-do list, it hangs over your head and you're like, I'm sitting here relaxing when I could be doing this and that and the other. And it's hard to let it go. So I love that you do that it's a part of your routine, because there's so many people that, I don't want to have to get up early. I don't want to give up sleep for that. Well, okay, but what about your mental health?
What about your mental health? Yeah,
I mean, I know sleep is super important, but just getting up half an hour or 20 minutes or an hour, early, like you said, getting that workout in, getting, that meditation, affirmations. I think that's so awesome.
Set your intention for the day instead of like that rush. That I used to live like that, like rush everywhere. And it's like, what an anxiety provoking way to live,
For real.
So
true. So going off of the self-care and mental health, I want to take a moment and thank SALT for their donation for guests on the show. You are getting a pass for you and a friend.
Awesome. I love SALT. It's so awesome.
And it's a halo sit therapy session for you guys, and just relax, unplug, enjoy, breathe it in, maybe meditate. That'd be kind of a cool place.
Absolutely.
So definitely want to thank SALT for their donation.
Thank you.
So moving on, we're going to talk about the sponsor for our show is Sarah DePardo Health and Fitness. And I am a personal trainer, fitness nutritionist, coach, group fitness coach. And if you ever are looking to, work fitness or some more healthy lifestyles into your life, give me a shout out and we'll talk. healthyandfitwithsarah.com or Healthy and Fit with Sarah on Instagram. So thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it. And I hope that we've reached at least one person, that didn't know and is going to start, the ball rolling with their insurance and work towards, getting their child the space that they need so that, they can thrive. And,
absolutely. And come check our school out, our elementary program. Come check it out. It's going to be so awesome.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This was awesome.
And you have a new employee, right?
Yes, I do.
Miss Tish.
Yes.
From Element.
And she is killing it. She's so awesome.
She is. Love her. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I want to take one more moment to ask you like a little question. So what does grit and grace mean to you?
Honestly, that it's like you got to put the grind in, but do it gracefully. Like really exactly what it says, you know? It's like you can't, too many people expect things to just fall in their lap. No, you gotta get down and get gritty and grind, but just be graceful about it.
Right? So when naming the show, I always, I meditated and like thought that, what would I want to call it? And it came to me like women are like ducks in water, like on the surface, like, hey, like a hostess, like I got everything's cool. And then under the water, they're like freaking out.
It's so true. That's such a good metaphor. I love it.
So I was like, we're gonna go with that. So
that's too funny.
But yeah, it's true. I none of these businesses just fell into your lap.
No.
And none of the getting the zoning, all of these things that you've put forth and hiring people, keeping that inclusion, that quality, all of the things that you guys work on, it doesn't happen with ease. It's work.
No.
It's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
You've got to put in the grit, and
Absolutely.
I've always admired you for that. So
Thank you, Sarah.
thank you again
You're
for
so
coming on
sweet.
the show.
Yeah.
And thank you, Cindy, our producer.
I learned so much listening.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. Take care.